Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what today we're doing?
What do I know what today we're doing?
Do you know what we're doing today?
Yes. We just finished with the regular book of Daniel.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we're doing something that's not normally done on this day, and yet even with that we're doing this a day late, which this week's all kinds of fucked up.
We're not doing it a day late. It would have gone out this morning.
We missed yesterday.
No, it would have gone out this morning.
Right. Well, it's by the time people see this, it will already be the next day.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Got it.
Still late.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. So we're doing the...
We are doing a Q&A, but only over 3 chapters, and it's not on Saturday because it's about Daniel's final vision.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So...
we're covering Daniel chapters 10, 11, and 12 and answering some questions and making some sense out of that final vision, which was those 3.
My understanding
chapters.
is this is going to be a doozy.
It really is, because we've got some dates and historical things that happened and some answers to some of the questions we had, and etc.
Suddenly, I'm also curious about the origin of the word doozy. I don't know why.
Too.
But where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know, but I said it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Because, with regard to Project 2025,
yeah.
I said it's a doozy. And at the same time I said it, I was like, what is a doozy?
Right.
Anyway,
yeah. No, it's just one of the, yeah.
Weird.
I'm just curious. We'll have to look that up at some point.
Yes, we will have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Are you ready to start the Q&A?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, let's hop into this Daniel vision.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in chapter 10, verse 1, it says, in the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a revelation was given to Daniel.
Okay. Yeah.
Just want to let you know that by this time, the first wave of exiles had returned under the leadership of Zerubbabel.
Okay. All right.
And that was discussed in Ezra chapters 1 and 2.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we already kind of knew that, but don't always put these things together.
Sure.
And that's what I'm trying to do a little bit of here.
Okay.
Okay. So verse 2 says, at that time I, Daniel, mourned for 3 weeks. And we were like, why the fuck he mourning? That makes no fucking sense. He may have been in mourning because so few Jews have returned with Ezra from exile.
Okay.
And then one of our questions was, why didn't Daniel go back? Did he? He didn't, because he was so old at that point.
Got it.
He didn't go back with Ezra's group of exiles because he was like 84 years old.
Right.
By then.
Yeah.
And not
also,
only that,
he was kind of powerful too.
Yeah, and that was the other point. He could serve better from his high position in government than he could going back to Jerusalem.
Right.
So he was old and in power.
Sure.
Okay, now here's another reason Daniel may have been in mourning.
Okay.
Because Ezra faced so much opposition in rebuilding the temple.
Oh, Okay.
So, I don't know. Those are various reasons why Daniel might have been all crying.
Got it.
Okay.
So the short answer is we don't know for sure.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he did have a lot to cry about. So,
Right.
could have been any or all of those things.
Right.
All right. Verse 5 says, I looked up, and there before me was a man dressed in linen.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the thing. When we were reading that, we were like, whoa, is it an angel? It's a shiny dude. What is he? And then remember I told you at the time, some people say it's Jesus, even though Jesus hasn't been born yet. It's the God Jesus.
Oh, is that
thing.
one of the things?
Some Christians, they claim that this is Jesus. First, because he is shiny and special and he knows things about the future, right? That's obvious.
Okay.
Another thing is because of a similar description of a shiny celestial dude in the book of Revelation.
Ah.
Okay. But here's the thing. This guy's like, I was held back by some other celestial being, right?
Right, yeah.
And Jesus...
No, it wasn't celestial being. It was the Persian king.
Prince of Persia. Yeah, you're right. But Jesus wouldn't need the assistance of Michael, whereas our shiny guy does.
Okay.
Hypothetically. I don't know what makes Jesus strong, because it's God. Because Jesus is God, and God can't possibly be held back by the Prince of Persia.
They killed Jesus, so he's not
Jesus
that
hasn't
strong.
been born yet.
Right,
And
but I'm saying...
Also, but Jesus dying was part of God's ineffable plan.
Sure,
He
but
came
it doesn't...
here to die.
Him dying does not do a lot to claim that he is,
strong.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I'm just telling you what the notes...
Okay.
What I found.
All right,
Okay? They're like, no, our shiny guy needs help. Jesus would never need help except for when he does. Okay?
So again, more confusion.
Right.
So...
Most likely it's some unnamed angel of very high rank, but not as high as Michael, because Michael's the one who helps him.
But that can be detained by humans.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 13 says, but the prince of the Persian kingdom, resisted me 21 days. Then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me because I was detained there with the king of Persia. So this prince wasn't just an ordinary guy, given that he could stand up to the angelic messenger that God had sent to Daniel, right?
Yeah.
So if he could do that, he was not just a mere human. He clearly had some kind of magical or angelic being assisting him, or was one himself.
Okay.
And since he was working against God's message, he was obviously some kind of evil or fallen angel.
So some people would see this as like satanic forces.
Yeah.
People that are, if you're studying the Bible and knowing the history of the world you're reading about, you might say that this is other gods.
Yes.
Right? Because that is a thing that kind of keeps popping up in the Old Testament.
Right. So whoever it was, whoever was the Prince of Persia, clearly it was a human, I think. And, within the story, though, was being assisted by some kind of evil forces that were trying to block the answer to Daniel's 3 weeks of prayer.
I feel like the fact that this happened, right? Mm-hmm. If they're claiming that this celestial being got detained by the Prince of Persia, it kind of requires a little bit more explanation than the Bible gave it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's...
It's so, we're randomly stuck in there.
Right. So, apologists are hypothesizing what the answer might be, right?
Right.
Because there's not a lot to go on.
Right.
And they don't want to make God seem weak, so they're like, well, it could be this, it could be that.
And everything presupposes that the Israelites are the good guys.
Sure. Yeah,
so,
right.
For all we know, the Israelites are actually the bad guys.
I think sometimes they were.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And maybe this angel was the fallen one. And, I don't know, our story is just from one perspective, and maybe it's exactly the wrong perspective.
Right.
Everybody thinks they're the hero of their own story.
Right. And to be fair, so to put this in, current context, right? Mm-hmm. There's not... You could... We talk about the politics in the Bible all the time, right?
Yeah, you and I do.
Right, yeah, we do. Mm-hmm. And right now, going on in Israel and Palestine, there is the Israelites are kind of the bad guys.
Yeah, I totally agree.
That whole scenario. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that they started it. They didn't start it.
Not this time,
and
anyways.
They weren't the original bad guys. There was a group of people that was bad that caused retribution to be had. but the amount has made Israel the bad guys,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Yes, they have the right to defend themselves, but they don't have the right to genocide. Hello.
right, but this is more about politics than it is about the people in Israel,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Generally, there's people in Israel that disagree with what's going on, just like there is in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about the people; it's about the politics,
Right.
and it always is about the politics. That's
Right.
always what it is.
Exactly.
So, anyway,
Moving on.
Yeah.
In verse 21, it says, "But first I will tell you what is written in the book of truth."
right.
And we were like, the fuck is a book of truth?
Yeah,
All right. So I did a little bit of research.
you looked up the truth on the truth.
I found the truth.
Okay,
Ready?
yeah.
All right. The book of truth is understood to be a divine record or heavenly scroll that contains, so it's not actually a book,
Okay.
that contains God's plans, purposes, and knowledge of future events.
Oh,
It represents the ultimate truth and reality of what is to come. Okay, so this angel speaking to Daniel refers to this book to emphasize that the events and prophecies he is revealing are part of a larger divine plan that has already been set down and thus will certainly come to pass.
so this is if we're to believe that this is what that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would mean that God has an ineffable plan that is laid out in advance, well before things happen, right?
Yeah.
So that means that God literally plans all the shit that happens in the world, which also takes away your ability to have free will, right? In which people, Christians will argue all day with you about how they have free will,
Right.
but they choose to follow Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, but if there's an ineffable plan,
Then
it doesn't really
you
fucking
didn't
matter.
choose that.
You didn't choose that,
Yeah.
right? And look, I'm not. It's semantics. I don't really fucking give a shit, honestly.
But it's a bad
But
argument is what
It's a
you're
bad
saying.
argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this, moreover, it doesn't really lend to the forgiving the forgiving nature of God, right?
Right.
God is literally causing war and famine and death and murder and all the bad things God is causing
Yeah.
because he has it written down already in the book of truth, apparently.
Yep.
And that's fucked up.
That is pretty fucked up. Like
If we're to believe in a God,
That-
this God.
that author is worse than anything that came up in Stephen King's imagination.
Right, yeah,
And Stephen King's imagination is pretty out there.
right.
All right, but let me continue on because I got more to say about this book
okay.
of truth.
All right,
Okay.
all right.
It's not an actual physical book, but rather a symbolic reference to God's foreknowledge and his sovereign will over history.
Okay.
Okay. The concept of a divine record or heavenly book is introduced earlier in the Bible, although the exact phrase book of truth is unique to Daniel 10:21.
Okay.
So
One more point to this, and that's that why would God get mad at the Israelites if he had already known what they were going to do?
because it's all silly.
Right. No, I'm just...
But you're right.
That is not something that would happen, right?
You're like so mad that the chapter that you wrote went the way you wrote it.
Right.
OMG.
That literally makes no sense.
Right.
None.
Why are you mad, brah? You're
Yeah.
the one that wrote it.
Right.
Stop.
Even if he just knows the events, right?
Right.
If he knows the events, then he already knows that these things are going to happen.
So why are you mad?
Right. So why are you mad?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Right.
I'm sorry.
All right. So we are talking about the book of life, though, and
Truth?
how. Yes. Sorry. The book of truth. Yeah. And that phrase is not specifically mentioned except for in this one place in Daniel.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, the first mention of a similar idea appears in Exodus chapter 32. After the Israelites sin with the golden calf, Moses speaks to God about being blotted out of the book that God has written. This
Right.
book is generally understood to be the book of life.
Right.
A
And that's what
record-
I was referring to. I kind of brought it up when we were talking about this, and I was like, that's what I was thinking of. So,
A record of those who belong to God.
right.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So, yeah, and you were right. It's related or the same.
So it's a book of life, and it's also a book of truth that has basically all the knowledge of all the things always.
It's like a really awesome planner because it's got a calendar and it's got like a list of all the holidays and celebrations, and it's got a list of all the things to come. And it also is a record of everything that already happened. It's like the best book ever.
Sure.
I want that planner.
Do you?
No.
Yeah.
Another related concept appears in Psalm 139.
Could really help with like betting odds, you know?
Where the psalmist mentions that all the days of his life were written in God's book before any of them came to be.
Okay.
This suggests a record of God's plans and purposes for individuals. While these references don't specifically mention the, quote, book of truth, they do introduce the idea of a divine record of sorts.
Right.
So there's that.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So
I just one more interjection. I feel like this takes away from a lot of the things that people try to claim about Christianity and religion in general with regard to your choices and what God is and stands for.
Agreed.
That's all.
No, I totally agree. No, those are great points. So we're done with chapter 11.
Yeah.
Or I'm so sorry. We're done with chapter 10.
Right.
And I'm moving into chapter 11. And the reason that I keep mowing over you is because there's a lot of material, particularly in chapter 11.
Right.
So I'm like, shut up.
And next.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but I can't not interject.
You interject. That is fine. And I will keep making faces at you.
Right.
And trying to roll on.
Just for the record, wife was really annoyed with me.
Oh, I was so fucking annoyed. Anyways, chapter 11. Okay. Verse 2 says, now then, I tell you the truth. 3 more kings will arise in Persia, and then a 4th who will be far richer than all the others. When he has gained power by his wealth, he will stir up everyone against the kingdom of Greece. Let us not forget, chapter 11 is full of, and then this is going to happen, and then this.
Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah.
I hated it.
So we're going to go through and compare this to what actually took place. And when it switched from things that have already happened to future tense.
Okay. Yep.
All right. So what that meant just then was there actually were 4 kings from the time Daniel spoke of until Xerxes, the prophesied strong, rich, and 4th king who did actually stir everyone up against Greece. But here's the thing, though. He said there was going to be 3 kings and then the 4th will be big. But there were 4 kings. Okay.
Yeah.
So either the angel who's telling Daniel this thing omitted the current king, Cyrus, looking only to the future, or he ignored one of the other kings that was in that list, King Smerdis of Persia. He was only there from 521 or 522 to 521 BCE. And because he ruled less than 1 year, and was an imposter to the throne, maybe
it sounds like
Daniel's
they left that guy out.
Yeah.
And moreover, this is being written by people that were already have seen this, and this is, we're talking about a 400-year span of time. Right. So, I mean, I think
they either left out the person who was king at the time, which was Cyrus. I don't see that happening. Right. Or they left out this guy who didn't even rule for a year and was an imposter to the throne.
I think that sounds most likely.
Right. So that happened. Okay. Right. So Xerxes the Great, that's the big 4th guy.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
He came to power in Persia in 486 BCE. And FYI, I put a lot of time into putting years into this. Like I found various sources that had like lists of, and then this happened.
Sure.
Which was, corroborated, and this prophecy was fulfilled. But I didn't, so I had to go one by one with these prophecies and stick a year to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to understand
the time frame,
how this lines up.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So that's why there's so much material. Anyway, so Xerxes the Great came to power in Persia in 486 BCE.
Okay.
He succeeded his father, Darius the Mede.
Right.
And ruled until his assassination in 465. So from 486 to 65.
Got it.
BCE.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Verse 3. Then a mighty king will arise who will rule with great power and do as he pleases. Verse 4. After he has arisen, his empire will be broken up and parceled out toward the 4 winds of heaven. It will not go to his descendants.
And this was Alexander the Great,
exactly. Correct? You remember. That's so good. Because I didn't until I read it. And I was like, oh, yeah. So this was fulfilled this prophecy was fulfilled in Alexander the Great, who came to power in 336 BCE. He ruled until his death in 323 BCE at the age of 32. We already read a little bit about him when we went over this chapter. We also read about him in one of our book clubs that covered Jewish fairy tales, because the Jewish revere, or I'm sorry, I shouldn't say the Jewish as though like it's a monolith, but Alexander the Great holds great reverence for many Jewish people, is what I should say.
Right.
Anyway, he ruled until his death, blah, blah, blah. None of his descendants succeeded him. After his death, and then the subsequent death of all his possible heirs, 4 generals controlled the Greek Empire. Because he had a son who was born after he died. A baby can't rule.
Right.
He had a half-brother who was not mentally fit, so couldn't rule. He had a regent. He also had an illegitimate son, and he had another brother or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, but 2 of them were named co-kings, and I think it was the baby that was born after he died, as well as his dimwit brother. And that's how he was referred to in the notes. So apologies. I have mental health issues, so I'm not here to call anybody names in cruel fashion. I am repeating what I read.
Sure.
And it stuck in my head, and I shouldn't have said that, but that's what it said.
You guys should have seen my face when wife said it. I was like, whoa.
So anyway, those 2 were named co-kings, and they had regents to like help, but then there was so much infighting that everybody died. Everybody got killed.
Yeah.
The regents, the wannabe kings, the babies, everybody died.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then 4 generals controlled the Greek Empire.
Sure.
Okay, now the rest of this prophecy, the whole rest of this chapter, focuses on only 2 of the 4 inheritors of Alexander's realm and the dynasties that they established.
Okay.
And here's why. These 2 fucking countries fought over the Promised Land, which sat right between their centers of power for centuries. Yeah. Like back and forth and back and forth.
Right.
Whoever was strongest at the time, they got to rule. Obviously. But it was never like for long before the other one got the upper hand.
Sure.
All right, so verse 5. The king of the south will become strong, but one of his commanders will become even stronger than he and will rule over his own kingdom with great power. Okay, so this was fulfilled in Ptolemy the First of Egypt. I typically don't name like the first, the second, the third, because I don't much care.
Right.
And it doesn't always matter. But in the purposes of this, we're going through a lot of history, and there's more than one Ptolemy, and there's more than one other like pharaohs and Seleucus. So
it's going to matter.
Yeah, it's going to matter, and that's why I'm being specific here. Okay. So Ptolemy the First of Egypt came to power in Egypt in 323 BCE.
Okay.
He was initially a governor or satrap of Egypt after Alexander's death. Okay.
Yep.
And then after all them guys died, the half brothers and babies and whatever's, he's like, guess what? I'm king. He declared himself king and founded the Ptolemaic dynasty in 305 BCE. He's like, what's up? I'm a empire now.
Right.
I just named myself.
I mean, if you're in charge of a large empire, you might as well name yourself a dynasty. And
what's up? Whatever. Ptolemy.
And apparently there's more than one Ptolemy, so it wasn't untrue.
Totally. So this marked the official start of his reign as pharaoh and exerting his control over the Holy Land. He ruled Egypt until his death in 282 BCE. So from 305 to 282. Okay?
Yep.
And then there was a prince named Seleucus. He initially served under Alexander and then later under Ptolemy the First. Okay. And he became the satrap of Babylon, governor, around 321 BCE. He was driven out by another successor, but regained power with the help of Ptolemy I and returned to Babylon in 312 BCE, founding the Seleucid Empire. So his name was Seleucus. So it's the Seleucus Empire, but Seleucid. I can't say it.
Got it.
Anyway.
Right.
It's his empire.
Sure.
He eventually took control over Syria in 301 BCE and eventually became more powerful than Ptolemy.
Huh.
Yeah. So the Seleucus guys are identified as the kings of the north, And the Ptolemies are the kings of the south.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So when they're talking about the north and the south kings, that's what they're talking about.
Right, sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it's just funny because Seleucus originally was under Alexander and under Ptolemy the First.
Right.
And then he's like, JK, I don't like y'all. Give me my own stuff. And so he took Syria and was like, I'm in charge now.
Yeah.
And they fought.
Right.
The dynasties of the Seleucus guys and the Ptolemies fought for some 130 years. So, okay, I said centuries. It felt like centuries as I was writing this. But I guess it was only 130
It was
years.
more than a century. So there you go.
The stronger of the two always held dominion over the Holy Land. So the Holy Land was just like, ugh,
right.
Right? They're like, okay, who am I paying taxes to this week?
Right.
Yeah. I don't even care. So is it any wonder that these guys had like no local religion of their own that they gave a shit about? They were just like, whoever's in charge this week, that's the God I'm praying to. I don't care what you call him. I just want some rain for my fucking fields.
This sounds like they were just, I mean, like, so we basically lose like 400 years of history of the Israelites when we're in Daniel, because they are writing this around the 200 BCE time frame. And so we're talking about the end of the Babylonian exile being what, like 520, 530, somewhere around there. And so okay, maybe 300, 350, whatever, somewhere in that time range is how many years we're talking about that had happened. But from all the political upheaval and military upheaval that was going on, it just sounds like they were just mostly keeping their heads down.
Yeah.
And they weren't freed up to reinvigorate themselves until around the 200 BCE timeframe.
Right, exactly.
You know, and that's where this is like, they just kind of kept pushing through and living their life and doing what they do.
Push a rock,
right?
push a rock, push a rock.
Yeah, sure.
And
Right.
Yeah. All right. So verse 6, after some years, they will become allies. The daughter of the king of the south will go to the king of the north to make an alliance. But she will not retain her power, and he and his power will not last. In those days, she will be betrayed together with her royal escort and her father and the one who supported her. All right. So this was fulfilled in the marriage between Antiochus II of the Seleucus guys and Berenice, the daughter of Ptolemy II.
Got it.
In 252 BCE.
Is Antiochus the second? Is he the one that we learned about? No. Okay.
He's not the Antiochus Epiphanes.
Okay.
No, that guy is the fourth.
Oh.
Okay. We're only at the second right now.
No, I wanted to clarify because, it's a little bit confusing. So.
Yeah. No, this is Antiochus II of the Seleucus guys.
Completely separate from the Antiochus that we were reading about before.
Well, we will get to him.
Right.
He is going to be mentioned in this prophecy.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, they hooked up in 252 BCE. There was peace for a time because of this marriage, but it was upset when Ptolemy II died in 246 BCE. So it was only a few years.
Sure.
All right. Once Ptolemy II died, Antiochus II put away Berenice and took back his former wife, Laodice.
What does put away mean?
He just locked her up, or he was like, bitch, bye.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or, bye, Felicia. Have a nice.
Probably held on to her and put her in, imprisoned her type deal.
Or put her in like a monastery or similar. They didn't have monasteries, but what the fuck ever.
Because back then, when you had, when you took a wife from another kingdom, like there's some sort of a tie-in with your claim to thrones and things like that they would have been trying to keep alive by keeping that woman alive, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure he probably didn't kill her just to have the illusion, hey, well, I married her, so she's still here.
Yeah, she comes back into the picture, so she definitely ain't dead.
Got it.
He just put her somewhere, locked her in a room or something.
All right.
Okay, so he put her away, and he took back his former wife, Laodice, or Laodice. I'm going to say Laodice because Berenice.
Sure.
Anyway, Laodice did not trust her husband, Antiochus II, because she had been put away so he could marry fucking Berenice.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, anyways, she had him poisoned that same year. She's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Jesus Christ.
So, immediately following the murder of Antiochus II, Laodice had Berenice's infant son, and all of her attendants killed.
Holy shit.
And then she set her son Seleucus II on the throne of the Syrian dominion.
Damn.
She's like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. and come here, baby. Yeah, baby boy, you go sit up there.
It sounds a
I'm king
little
now.
Game of Thrones-ish.
Right? Yeah. We don't need Game of Thrones. We have this shit in real life.
Right.
Okay. So, and all of this stuff is actually what happened.
Sure.
Okay. This is all historical, except when I'm reading the verses, they're describing. It's supposed to be that this angel is prophesizing or whatever to Daniel, but clearly this was written after the fact.
Right.
Okay. Verse 7 and 8 and 9. Okay. One from her family line will arise to take her place. He will attack the forces of the king to the north and enter his fortress. He will fight against them and be victorious. He will also seize their gods, their metal images, and their valuable articles of silver and gold and carry them off to Egypt. For some years, he will leave the king of the north alone. Then the king of the north will invade the realm of the king of the south, but will retreat to his own country. Remember when we were reading this, it was like north and south and north and south, and we were like, I can't. I don't know.
Well, and just to say this, the fact that, that it was such a badly written account of what happened over the previous hundreds of years, right? But it was also very, very accurate insofar as you can be accurate with he's and they's and this and that, right? Yeah. So it was way too accurate to pretend like this is a fucking prophecy. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But they that's what they were doing. That the whole Daniel thing is this is a prophet and he wrote these things and he predicted these things. Yeah. But there's never been a prophet before that was able to predict with such accuracy so many different events.
And there's a reason why they have to paint this as a prophecy. Okay? Because remember, I told you we're going to get to a certain verse and then all of a sudden it's going to shift from these are things that have happened to and this is stuff that will happen. And we need you to believe the accuracy of the ones that already happened that we're trying to pretend are new so that you have a reason to believe the shit that ain't happened yet.
Right, but the whole part where they're trying to get us to believe this actually happened is the part that makes me not believe that it actually happened.
No, I know.
So
I know.
It's counterproductive to me.
It totally is. It totally is.
And I think it should be counterproductive to anybody actually reading this portion of the Bible. Like it's ridiculous.
It should be, but who actually reads it straight through like we're doing?
No, I know.
Nobody.
I know.
Nobody, given that we read 4 to 6 chapters per week. Yeah. And it's taken us over 4 years.
It's true.
So that is how I know Christians have not actually read the motherfucking Bible straight through. Right. Because it'll take us probably another 4 years. And there's no way any of the Christians that I know in my personal life have spent 8 to 10 years reading the Bible straight through.
I think that should be like a first question that you ask a Christian that says that they've read the Bible. Like, oh, yeah? When did you read it? How long did it take you to read it straight through?
Yeah, that's what I plan to do.
And when they tell you, oh, just a couple of weeks, you'd be like,
yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, that can't possibly be true. I don't believe you. Yeah.
I mean, look, somebody could probably do it, but you would be doing nothing but that. Right. Like that would be all you're doing.
And you're not taking it in. If you're the general human being, you're not taking it in. Right. So fuck off with that. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, but no. Because you know why else? Because most of the people that claim that are uneducated. And so they would not be able to understand what they were reading. Right. I'm not completely a dum-dum and I don't understand what's happening. I have to look it up in alternate sources to find out what the fuck is happening here.
Well, when they tell you that they read it in a couple of weeks or whatever, that's when like, isn't there something about lying in the Bible? Yeah. I'm just curious, Yeah.
Or I don't think that we're speaking the same language. Like, I mean, actually straight through. Right. Yeah. And there's no way you did that.
Not the Cliff Notes.
Yeah.
Not a YouTube channel.
Yeah. All right. So verse 7, 1. Oh, I just read that. Sorry. 7, 8, and 9, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, remember the north and south and north and south and north and south. And we're like, what? Right. Okay. So this was fulfilled in the person of Ptolemy the III. Berenice's brother. Okay. Okay. Avenging the murder of his sister. Because remember, Laodicea, whatever her name
She had
is.
all those people murdered.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he's like, fuck you for that. I'm going to get you. So Ptolemy III, still in the same year, 246 BCE.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's avenging his sister. And so Ptolemy III invaded Syria and humbled Seleucus II.
Humbled him.
Okay.
Okay.
And then Ptolemy III ruled until his death in 222 BCE, living 4 years past Seleucus II, which is important because it said that he would beat him and retreat to his own country or whatever.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, why would you? I don't.
He humbled him means that he beat him but didn't kill him outright.
Got it. Okay, so he basically pushed back his forces and caused them to be them.
Yeah.
Is what it boiled down to.
And took away his power,
Okay.
which
All right.
was just as bad as death.
And that's fair. That's fair. I'm trying to understand the wording that they're using, and it just means he was beaten in battle, and essentially Ptolemy the third. You said, is that right?
Yes, Ptolemy III
was the one that was more in power at that point because he gained more land, won more battles, whatever.
Because he was like, I'll show you to kill my sister.
Right.
Fuck off.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So verse 10, his sons will. This chapter is so fucking long.
Right.
Verse 10, his sons will prepare for war and assemble a great army which will sweep on like an irresistible flood and carry the battle as far as his fortress. This was fulfilled in Seleucus III, who we just talked about, and Antiochus III, the two sons of Seleucus II.
Okay.
So
who was the one that was just beaten by Ptolemy the third?
No, that was Oh, no, you're right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right.
All right.
Weird. So they're
the next
brothers.
generation is going to fight back now.
Okay.
Is that on the Ptolemaic regime?
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I was confused for a minute there.
Well, yeah. This is confusing.
Yeah. They were both successful generals, but Seleucus III ruled only a short time, from 225 to 223 BCE. Okay.
Right. Yep.
And he was succeeded by his younger brother, Antiochus III, who was also called Antiochus the Great. Okay. But not Alexander, he's
Right.
Antiochus.
Yeah.
Different people.
Sure.
In a furious battle, this Antiochus guy took back the Holy Land, which is modern-day Israel and Palestine,
Sure.
from the dominion of the Ptolemies in 200 BCE.
Okay. All right.
Verse 11.
Yeah.
Then the king of the south will march out in a rage and fight against the king of the north, who will raise a large army, but it will be defeated. Verse 12. When the army is carried off, the king of the south will be filled with pride and will slaughter many thousands, yet he will not remain triumphant.
Okay.
This was fulfilled when Antiochus III was defeated at the Battle of Raphia in 217 BCE.
All right.
Because of that loss, he was forced to give back dominion over the Holy Land to Ptolemy IV.
Oh, we're on Ptolemy the fourth now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because the other one.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to keep track of where we are.
I know. This is where we are. So this control remained with the Ptolemies until Antiochus III later regained the territory again.
Holy shit.
200 BCE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, even knowing
So it really was
names,
back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Even knowing the names and what the countries are,
still confusing.
It's still confusing. Yeah. Because, I think I can remember that the Ptolemies are Egypt.
Yes, they are.
And Seleucus guys are the Syria guys.
Yeah, right.
Is that?
Yes.
Okay. So I think I got it, but I get really confused. All right. Because is Antiochus a Ptolemy or a Seleucus? He's a Seleucus guy. Okay. See, I get so confused, especially when Antiochus and Seleucus guys are fighting each other. I'm like,
right.
What? Stop. Don't fight each other. Fight other people. I don't know. Whatever. All right. Verse 13. For the king of the north will muster another army larger than the first, and after several years he will advance with a huge army fully equipped. 14. In those times many will rise against the king of the south. Those who are violent among your own people will rebel in fulfillment of the vision, but without success.
Okay.
15. Then the king of the north will come and build up siege rams and will capture a fortified city. The forces of the south will be powerless to resist. Even their best troops will not have the strength to stand. 16. The invader will do as he pleases. No one will be able to stand against him. He will establish himself in the beautiful land and will have the power to destroy it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
This was fulfilled when, notice how like every single one, when I like get to my notes, then I say this was fulfilled in.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
When Antiochus III invaded Egypt again, gaining final control over the armies of Ptolemy V and over the Holy Land in 200 BCE. Okay. Jews living in the Holy Land helped Antiochus III defeat the king of the south. This was because the Jewish people resented the rule of the Egyptian Ptolemies. Okay. So they're like, we're going to go with them for a minute.
Sure.
Guess what? That was not
Didn't
good.
last. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
The Jewish people initially welcomed Antiochus III as a liberator from Egyptian rule, but their decision to support Antiochus III proved unwise when he turned destruction upon the Holy Land and its people. Womp, womp.
Okay.
They always choose wrong. They
Right.
always choose wrong.
Yeah.
All right. 17. He will determine to come with the might of his entire kingdom and will make an alliance with the king of the south. And he will give him a daughter in marriage in order to overthrow the kingdom, but his plans will not succeed or help him.
So we're again marrying somebody to try to do political power
Yes.
things and okay.
Yes.
Got it.
This was fulfilled when Antiochus III gave his daughter Cleopatra, no, not that Cleopatra, although she is an ancestor to the Cleopatra that we know of, who came like 100 years later. Later.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Cleopatra was back in the book of Solomon.
No, we didn't talk about Cleopatra. That was Queen of Sheba.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Nope, you're fine. So, So Antiochus III gave his daughter, not the famous Cleopatra, to Ptolemy V of Egypt in 193 BCE.
Okay.
He did this hoping to gain influence and control over Egypt. The plan did not succeed because, that Cleopatra that ain't famous was also not faithful to her Egyptian husband.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Whoopsie.
Yeah.
Looks like all of them Cleopatras like to fuck. I'm not here to slut shame because, fucking's good.
Right. Sure.
If you like it.
Right.
If you don't, it's fine too.
Sure.
Anyways, consent. Okay, 18. Then he will turn his attention to the coastlands and will take many of them, but a commander will put an end to his insolence and will turn his insolence back on him.
Okay.
19. After this, he will turn back toward the fortress of his own country, but will stumble and fall to be seen no more.
Right.
Okay, so this was fulfilled when Antiochus III turned his attention toward the areas of Asia Minor and Greece around 192 BCE.
All right.
He was helped by Hannibal. Hannibal Lecter? No. That other Hannibal, the famous general from Carthage. So the historically famous Hannibal.
Okay, sure.
Okay, but a Roman general, Lucius Cornelius Scipio, defeated Antiochus in Greece in 290 BCE.
So this is, I'm assuming, the beginning of the rise of some Roman and Greek power type things.
Yep.
Or, well, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Antiochus III had planned to humiliate Greece, but he was humiliated instead.
Okay.
He returned to his former regions, having lost all that he gained. After this defeat, Antiochus III, needing money badly for his treasury, resorted to pillaging a Babylonian temple and was killed by enraged local citizens in 187 BCE. That's funny to me. I don't condone murder, but that's just funny to me. All right, 20. His successor will send out a tax collector to maintain the royal splendor. In a few years, however, he will be destroyed, yet not in anger or in battle.
Okay, yeah.
This was fulfilled in the brief reign of Seleucus IV, Philopator, which I at first read as Velociraptor, son of Antiochus III and the elder brother of Antiochus IV. Okay. Seleucus IV ruled from 187 BCE until his assassination in 175 BCE.
Okay.
He sought to raise funds through heavy taxation, including the wealth of the Jerusalem temple in the Holy Land. His death is shrouded in some mystery, and it's suspected that Seleucus IV was assassinated by his younger brother Antiochus IV.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah. So that's what it means when it says he was not killed. He wasn't killed. Hold on. What did I say? He will be destroyed, yet not in anger or in battle.
Well, it might have been in anger, but, you know.
I mean, it sounds like his brother was just methodical. Like, I'm going to be king,
right.
So bye.
Right.
So, okay, 21. He will be succeeded by a contemptible person. Do you know who this is?
Antiochus IV Epiphanes.
Yes.
Yeah.
By a contemptible person who has not been given the honor of royalty. He will invade the kingdom when its people feel secure, and he will seize it through intrigue. Okay?
Right, and this is the guy that you were saying was bribing his way to make alliances and do all the things, right?
He's vile.
Yeah.
This was fulfilled in the successor of Seleucus IV, named Antiochus IV. He did not come to the throne legitimately, being suspected of patricide, or fratricide, sorry.
Right.
But the only other potential heir was imprisoned in Rome. Womp womp. Apart from the murder of his older brother, Antiochus IV didn't use terror to gain power. He used flattery, smooth promises, and intrigue. He's a smooth criminal.
Well, I also kind of remember that he was a little bit eccentric too, right?
Yes. Yes. He flattered the Romans and sent ambassadors to court their favor and to pay them the arrears of the owed tribute. So he was throwing money left and right. He was the one that, like, I told you he would pop up in bathhouses like, hey, what's up, naked people?
Right.
And, like, he would try to rent, like, office buildings and stuff. Like, what? I just want an office here.
Sure.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Because I'm rich. Like, he was just weird. He would just, like, be walking down the street and he would be like, here, I bought you a present, weird stranger. Like, I don't know. He's very weird.
Yeah.
Okay. He flattered the Syrians and gained their concurrence. When Antiochus IV took the throne in 175 BCE, he also took the title Epiphanes, meaning illustrious. Others derisively called him Epimanes, meaning madman, which I already
probably
said.
maybe more fitting.
Yes,
Yeah.
Definitely more fitting.
Right.
All right, verse 23. After coming to an agreement with him, he will act deceitfully, and with only a few people, he will rise to power. This was fulfilled when Antiochus Epiphanes carried on the feud between the dynasties, but pretended friendship and alliance to catch them off guard.
Okay.
Despite massive efforts and epic battles, Antiochus Epiphanes did not stand and his army was swept away. He ruled the Seleucus Empire guys until his death in 164 BCE.
Right.
Okay, so we're coming up on the 0 year.
Well, and let me just state this too, because we didn't cover it here, but he was very bad for the Jewish population because he was very anti-Judaism.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was making them worship other idols. He didn't let them worship their God. You know, like there was
I'm actually getting to that.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay. That's okay.
All right.
28. The king of the north will return to his own country with great wealth, but his heart will be set against the Holy Covenant. He will take action against it and then return to his own country.
Got it.
So like I got a little ahead of myself in the notes, but I wanted to make sure I had years in. Okay. So yeah, we're going back to
that's why
before
I
he
got confused
died.
because you already announced his death. So
yeah, sorry. So what I just read was fulfilled when Antiochus Epiphanes returned from Egypt, bitter from defeat. He vented his anger against Jerusalem, which was already shaken because Antiochus sold the office of high priest. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he persecuted the Jewish people to conform to Greek culture, forsaking the faith and traditions of their fathers. And he was trying to Greekize them. Hellenistic empire, like that is where that began. Okay.
Yeah.
So 23, or I'm sorry, no. We're skipping a few. We're moving up to verse 32. Okay. I had dyslexia just then for a minute. With flattery, he will corrupt those who have violated the covenant, but the people who know their God will firmly resist him. This was fulfilled when Antiochus Epiphanes turned on Jerusalem. The Jewish people were divided. Some forsook their covenant with God and embraced Greek culture, but those who knew their God made a stand for righteousness, even in the face of incredible persecution, and many of them died defending their beliefs.
Got it.
So at verse 36, there is a subtle shift to a future fulfillment. Okay.
All right.
And this was the quote unquote epiphany that I had the other night. That I was telling you about off mic. That I was like, oh, I get it now. because I thought that the prophecies were describing what happened and that it could either have been Antiochus or a future thing. But no, that is not it. That was definitely Antiochus that we were just talking about.
Sure.
But he is described in such detail as being such a cruel motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to understand that you think that guy was cruel. Y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Wait till the Antichrist gets there.
Got it.
Okay. So, verse 36, the king will do as he pleases. He will exalt and magnify himself above every god and will say unheard of things against the God of gods. He will be successful until the time of wrath is completed, for what has been determined must take place. Okay.
So now let me just say that I have to wonder if Judaism accepts that as a future, or if they accept it as part of the Antiochus bit, right? Because it sounds an awful lot like they're trying to put something future in there so that it can be a prophecy for things that they want to occur later.
They do, from what I saw, because I was looking up what does the Jewish tradition believe versus what does the Christian believe. And I will get into that.
They was Christian when I was saying they.
Yeah, I will get into that some more later, but they both have very similar beliefs in that moving forward, these are future things that are yet to come.
All right, fair enough.
How and who is a little bit different, but they both agree, no, this shit is yet to come.
Okay.
And that's what those years that we were talking about, where there's two different years.
Right.
Or number of days.
Yeah.
If each one of those days is a year, I'll get to that. But what they're saying is each one of those days is a year. And so instead of saying like 1,200 and however many days, it's actually 1,200 and however many years.
Okay.
Okay. And so that changes things. And that's why Christians today are like, oh my God, it's totally the end times. And
well, but that doesn't, I mean, that 1,000 years has already happened.
Right.
Well before today.
No, I know, but just saying, I'll get there.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we shift from what was fulfilled in the Ptolemies and the Seleucus guys.
Right.
Okay. Period. To what will be fulfilled in the Antichrist, the final world dictator, which many believe is Trump. Whatever.
Many people believe it's not yet happened or is happening or might happen or whatever. Yeah. Many believe it's Biden too. So, I mean, it is what it is.
It explains, though, why some Christians are very excited about what is happening and why they might vote for Trump. Because they're like, the end times, that's fucking epic. They're so excited because they think they're going to be raptured.
Right.
So, it's very sick and weird.
But they've also referred to Biden and Obama as the Antichrist. I mean, like, it's not exclusive to Trump.
No, and it's not the same Christians saying these things.
Right.
The same Christians that would say that Obama was the Antichrist would not be the same Christians that are really excited about Trump being the Antichrist.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And they're not big on saying that he's the Antichrist.
No. A lot of them are saying that he's anointed by God as God's chosen one.
Right. That's what I'm...
the second Messiah come to, you know... Yeah. It just depends on which Christian you ask.
I would say that's the more prevalent idea.
I would say that that's the more outspoken idea.
Sure.
So Daniel was told that this revelation pertained to the latter days. Yeah.
Okay.
This verse begins to look more towards this final world dictator who is a sort of a last days Antiochus Epiphanes. Antiochus Epiphanes is important, but mostly as a historical preview of the Antichrist to come.
Okay.
While Antiochus Epiphanes did exalt and magnify himself, and that's in quotes because that's like what the prophecy said.
Yeah.
He did remain loyal to the Greek religious tradition, which revered the entire Olympian pantheon. So he did not put himself above all gods, just most of them.
Right.
Antiochus Epiphanes put a statue of Zeus in the temple, not of himself. Whereas Trump has put statues of himself everywhere, but whatever.
Right.
I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there, playing devil's advocate, if you will.
Sure.
Okay, this statement will be far more precisely fulfilled in the Antichrist. So whoever the Antichrist is, He's going to be bigger than God and say so and put statues of himself up everywhere.
Got it.
Okay. That's how we will know him or whatever. All right. 39. He will attack the mightiest fortresses with the help of a foreign god and will greatly honor those who acknowledge him. He will make them rulers over many people and will distribute the land at a price.
Okay.
So the Antichrist will take and hold power with military might and the shrewd use of great riches from other countries.
Got it.
So, interesting. Okay, 40. At the time of the end, the king of the south will engage him in battle, and the king of the north will storm out against him with chariots and cavalry and a great fleet of ships. He will invade many countries and sweep through them like a flood. So what that means, hypothetically, is that a confederation of kings or country leaders, presidents, whatever, will come against this great leader, this Antichrist, with a battle in and near the Holy Land.
Okay.
At some point in the future, the king of the south may be Egypt, or it might represent the Arab community as a whole. We don't know.
Sure.
The king of the north may be the Antichrist domain, as in the new Antiochus Epiphanes land, or it might be Russia. Who fucking knows? Right. But people like my dad are very excited to say it's happening right now.
Right.
Because everything's...
Well, Israel and the Middle East is very close to... Yeah, I mean, anytime...
It's always been a mess, but...
Anytime there's upheaval in the Middle East, there's always talk about end times and the possibility of all this stuff happening. So,
but with Russia, you know, rolling...
But, I mean, Russia's been a thing since World War II. So, I mean, it's not really anything new. It's just a matter of how it all pans out and when it pans out and what's going on where. And it is, I think, more of a modern idea to relate this all into an end time scenario.
I don't think that that's fair because...
On a popular level. I'm not saying like this.
Again, I don't think that that's fair because... We're doing this now that us common man can look up current events on the fucking internet and understand world events like in 2 seconds flat.
Right.
So, you know, back during World War II, people would not have been able to understand everything that was happening around the world and tie everything together.
Well, that's kind of my point.
Okay.
Though, is that we just now in the world and we... This is why it's a modern thing, is because general society is now able to see all this stuff and think, hey, this might be that. And because it's so prevalent in our society, religious leaders can use that information to then build a case for end times and scare people into religious ideas and different things like that. So
got it.
That's all I was getting at.
Sure. No, that makes sense. All right, so while the kingdoms remain in question, so we don't know what the lands are, the end will be marked by great conflict and will culminate in the world's armies gathering in the promised land to engage in the final battle. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to chapter 12. Okay? All right, so chapter 12, verses 11 and 12 presents two specific time periods. And that was the 1,290 days, and then the 1,335 days.
Yeah.
Okay. These numbers have been a subject of much interpretation and speculation among biblical scholars. They're like, we don't fucking, what the fuck?
Right.
Okay. So there's various things. Prophetic time. It's generally accepted that these numbers represent prophetic time where 1 day equals 1 year. Okay. End times. The context of the passage suggests that these time periods are related to events leading up to the end times. Okay. Specific events. The starting point for these time periods is linked to the, quote, abomination that causes desolation.
Sure.
A significant event in end time prophecy.
Okay.
And so we don't know, but that means Antiochus, right?
Well, that's what we thought when we were reading it. But if you're saying that some of the stuff that we were reading was also about this future Antiochus-like figure that is going to be the Antichrist,
right?
Then not necessarily, I guess, right? And you know that could refer to this future person or thing or whatever. So here's what why you were like, but why two numbers though?
Remember?
Yeah.
And here's what they mean, okay?
Yeah.
The 1,290 days might represent a time of intense tribulation or persecution for God's people. So that's the trials and tribulations, okay?
Right.
And then the 1,335 days is a longer period, and that could signify a time of restoration and cleansing following the tribulation.
Okay.
So
Sure.
basically, whenever the abomination that causes desolation occurs,
Yeah.
then we can start marking off 1,290 days on our calendar, or what the fuck ever.
Okay. So
Or
they don't
years.
stand for. Okay.
I don't know. Right?
Well, I mean, I just because I wanted to clarify for myself a little bit, just to see it separate from what you're telling me, because it sometimes helps me to see it in print as I'm hearing you say something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And basically it's saying that there is a lot of fucking disagreement about this and what this means. So not only is it difficult to understand, it's difficult for even scholars and people to understand as well.
Right.
So I don't know that there is a great interpretation for what this is.
No.
Other than, I don't know.
Daniel's a fucking weirdo. I mean, to me, that's what it is. Daniel's a fucking weirdo.
No, I mean, it was a really weird vision to begin with. And here we end with this chapter that's like got these weird numbers in it that don't really mean anything to us.
Exactly.
Unless you want to ascribe meaning to them.
Right.
I don't really want to. So.
Right.
Whatever.
All right. Well, I am rolling this up now. We are headed towards the end. I've got a little bit more. Hang in there.
I'm hanging.
All right. So for the final time, the book of Daniel can be divided into two parts.
Yeah.
The first is a set of 6 court tales, and those were mostly written in Aramaic, chapters 1 through 6.
Okay.
The second one is 4 apocalyptic visions in chapters 7 through 12, written mostly in Hebrew.
Right.
Chapters 10, 11, and 12 make up Daniel's final vision, describing a series of conflicts between the unnamed king of the north and king of the south, leading to the time of the end, when Israel will be vindicated and the dead raised, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
I would like to maybe in our wrap-up of Daniel spend a little bit of time with regard to the idea of heaven and hell that was referred to in Daniel, because we talked about it at the time that's a little bit different, slightly different interpretation than we've heard before.
Yeah, no, totally.
I would say this, it's an evolving interpretation of what heaven and hell means in the Bible.
What the afterlife is about.
What the afterlife means in the Bible, I should say, not heaven and hell, because we really haven't got to heaven and hell specifically
No, the question would just be, how does the book of Daniel change our understanding of the afterlife up to what we had thought before Daniel, with all the books that precede it?
It's a worthwhile mention, I think, in our wrap-up. So
Totally agree. Daniel 11 is particularly notable for its detailed prophecies that have been fulfilled in historical events.
Blah, blah,
which
blah.
A lot of them were because they were written after the fact.
Right.
While the latter part of the chapter delves into more eschatological matters, meaning religious-y things like the initial verses provide a remarkable roadmap of ancient history. And it really does.
Okay. I was going to say all right. It's not a remarkable thing that happened with regard to the prophecy because it was not written prior to these things happening. So
no, but it allows us to be like, okay, that's one more source of information verifying what we know of what happened during this time.
Right. Even
though they're trying to pretend that this dude foretold it, clearly that's not what happened because magic doesn't exist.
Right.
But, the more firsthand sources that you have verifying historical events, the better that you can rely on understanding what happened during past times.
I think I just wish that a lot of Christians were able to admit the truths that scholars have uncovered about the Bible, right? Like, that's the part that frustrates me. So Daniel is pretty much accepted that it was written in this time frame that was after the prophecies that were prophesied, right? So I would love to talk to the Christians that are like, yeah, I accept that. That's fine.
That makes sense.
We're going to accept that and still believe what we believe, But, with the understanding that, yeah, that's probably the way that was done. So
why does faith in God require faith 100% that everything in the Bible happened?
Right. Yeah.
Like that doesn't, like, why do they have to be mutually exclusive or
if
whatever?
we're already talking about faith, I mean, your faith should be secure whether or not the Bible is correct or not.
Right.
Right? That should not
they
enter
wrap
into
it
the
up
picture.
in the Bible, and I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Your faith sounds not good.
Right.
Your faith sounds very questionable.
Well, I think that's what hangs up a lot of Christians when they're discussing their religion, honestly, is that they have this need to make the Bible correct.
Yeah.
Right? And what the truth is that if you are going to believe this religion and not get caught up in the wrongness of the Bible, because there is much wrong with the Bible,
sure,
then you have to just have the faith that people talk about all the time. Right? Christians talk about this all the time. Mm-hmm. You just have to have faith.
Yeah.
You just have to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I can get behind people that just say they believe.
Sure.
If they can also admit the flaws inherent in their religion.
Right.
Right? Like, those are the people that I enjoy talking to.
Yeah.
They do exist.
Because they have questions and they want to know more too.
Right. Yeah.
But it doesn't have anything to do with their unshakable belief in a God.
Right.
And that's the kind of faith and religiosity that I actually kind of admire and find beautiful.
Look, it'll never be me.
No.
I don't have that in me, and it's not something that I even want to aspire to.
Right.
I don't want that because I'm comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable with what I believe, and I'm fine where I'm at, Mm-hmm. But I can accept that somebody has faith. Mm-hmm. I cannot accept that you defend wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest catch point for me with regard to the Bible.
You just summed everything up for me. Thank you. All right, but let's wrap this up, okay?
Yeah.
Here are some key historical events that have been linked to Daniel 11. 1, the rise and fall of the ancient Greek and Greek and Ptolemaic empires.
Sure.
These two dynasties vying for control of the former Persian Empire are often seen as the king of the north and king of the south, respectively, as the conflicts and alliances written in Daniel align remarkably with the historical record.
Right.
So, because it was written after the fact.
Yeah.
2, the Antiochus Epiphanes crisis. This ancient Greek king's persecution of the Jews, including the desecration of the temple, is a striking fulfillment of prophecies in Daniel 11. It's important to note that while many scholars see these historical events as fulfilling specific prophecies in Daniel 11, there's also a strong tradition of interpreting the latter part of the chapter as pointing to future, yet to be fulfilled events.
Right.
Okay, so who knows? All right, here are some events in Daniel's final vision according to the Jewish versus Christian traditions.
Okay.
While interpretations vary, Jewish and or Christian traditions generally see the following core themes and key events unfolding in Daniel's final vision. Okay, so they see a cosmic battle and divine intervention. They see end times and tribulation. They see restoration and redemption. And I'm going to talk a little bit about each of those. Okay. So with cosmic battle and divine intervention, both religions see spiritual warfare and cosmic struggle. The vision starts with a dramatic portrayal of a cosmic battle between celestial beings representing a spiritual conflict between the forces of good and evil. Christian belief holds that this foreshadows the spiritual warfare described in the New Testament. Okay. So they put a little bit more spin on it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And then on top of that, the Christian tradition really builds up the angelic guidance under that whole cosmic battle and divine intervention thing. Okay. Because Daniel receives guidance and revelation from an angelic messenger who unveils the divine plan for the future. And we will read more about angels in the New Testament.
Okay.
All right. So I said both of them have a firm belief in end times and the tribulation. So time of distress. Daniel receives a detailed prophetic outline of future world events, including the rise and fall of empires, as well as the persecution of God's people. The vision offers a glimpse into the end times and foretells a period of great tribulation for God's people, characterized by severe oppression and intense suffering. So both faiths have that understanding. Okay.
Yeah.
Desecration of the temple. A particularly significant event is the abomination of desolation, often interpreted as a desecration of the temple in Jerusalem. While Jewish tradition attributes this to Antiochus Epiphanes, Christian tradition treats it as the eventual coming of a powerful and tyrannical world leader, often identified with the Antichrist.
Okay, so this is where they differ as to future events versus current events. The in time.
But
yeah,
it does depend on which sources you read, because Jewish tradition recognizes Antiochus Epiphanes as that stuff that happened before verse 36 and everything after verse 36 as a future, some kind of trial and tribulation stuff.
Okay.
Because that's where the time of distress they both agree on.
Got it.
So again, it just depends on which Jewish tradition you're going with. And this is very generic. So sometimes it'll be one way, sometimes it's the other way.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And last point under end times and tribulation is the final judgment and God's sovereignty. Throughout the vision, God's ultimate control over history and human affairs is emphasized. This vision culminates in a divine judgment where the righteous will be rewarded and the wicked punished. This reinforces the belief in a sovereign God who has a plan for the world, and both faiths are okay with that.
Okay.
Okay. The next point was restoration and redemption. Both faiths have understanding of the messianic hope and national restoration. Many Jewish interpretations connect Daniel's vision to the ultimate vindication of the Jewish people, the reestablishment of their sovereignty, and the restoration of their land, while many Christians see the vision as pointing forward to the coming of the Son of Man, the Messiah, Jesus Christ, the ultimate deliverer of God's people. So they both see a Messiah and hope in that and national restoration, but they see it a little bit differently from each other.
Right.
Which I thought that was a neat comparison.
Sure.
Okay. Also, with restoration and redemption, they both see a resurrection, new age, and eternal life. Okay. Daniel's vision culminates in the resurrection of the dead, a central Christian doctrine. The concept of resurrection alludes to the dawn of a new era, celebrating God's kingdom and the establishment of divine justice. The righteous will experience eternal life, while the wicked will face judgment. The Jewish kind of have that. They're not real excited about it or anything like the Christians are.
Right.
But it is part of their book. So they're like, yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
But the Christians are super excited about it.
Right.
All right. Moving on. While some elements of Daniel's vision have been seen as directly related to historical events, others are understood more symbolically or allegorically. And it's crucial to remember that there are general interpretations that both Jewish and Christian scholars have offered several diverse perspectives on.
Right.
And the specific timing and nature of these prophecies in various traditions over the centuries have changed dramatically. So the specific details of Daniel's vision remain open to interpretation and debate among scholars.
Great.
Meaning, we have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
So all that to say, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's the book of Daniel is classified as apocalyptic literature.
Okay.
A genre common in the Second Temple period, right? This genre is characterized by visions, symbolism, and a focus on the end times.
Yeah.
It was often used to offer hope and comfort to communities facing oppression.
I mean, that's exactly what we were saying throughout this whole thing.
Oh, when I saw that note, I was like, oh, I can't wait till I read this to husband.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I'm almost done. Couple more sentences. The book of Daniel reflects the concerns and anxieties of Jewish communities living under ancient Greek rule, with Antiochus Epiphanes as a particularly cruel figure. And remember, we said that his rule was what very likely inspired the writing of the book of Daniel.
Right.
So there it is, right?
Yeah.
The visions of persecution and ultimate deliverance can be seen as a response to these historical circumstances and are interpreted by secular scholars as products of the author's imagination, influenced by contemporary beliefs and cultural traditions.
Yeah.
Right? No lies detected.
Right.
No argument for me.
Yeah.
While some elements of Daniel 11 can certainly be correlated with specific historical events, the overall prophetic accuracy is obviously inconsistent. In essence, the secular perspective on Daniel's final vision is that it's a complex literary work rooted in its historical context rather than a literal blueprint of future events. It's a product of imagination and religion, reflecting the hopes and fears of a particular time and place. Ultimately, as with most biblical literature, the book of Daniel is merely a product of its time. The end.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved wrapping that up with those final points.
Yeah.
Because that is everything that we have said throughout this entire stupid fucking book.
Right. Right. I mean, it's the simple version of this is that it was written by people who were just very, they wanted to get back into the swing of their religion, essentially. Like they're here, we're back. We finally got rid of we're governing ourselves finally again after hundreds of years, and there's no more strife right now. Yay, go Jerusalem. Let's celebrate and write some fucking shit that makes us sound great.
Yay.
I mean, right? That's basically it.
Let's get together. Let's try to be excited for ourselves and see what we can do to move forward together.
Yeah. And I accept it fully on those premises.
Yeah, sure.
But it's so many other things to so many other people that that's where it starts becoming a problem.
So problematic.
Yeah. So I think that's all we had for our Q&A today.
I think that's more than enough.
I think it is, because we're at like an hour and 15 minutes on this episode.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So thanks for if you stuck through it. Thanks for sticking through, and I hope you learned something today.
I did.
I think it was a good breakdown of the time frames and to understand it a little bit better, because the back and forthing in 11 especially was really, really rough.
Yeah.
It wasn't much less rough in the Q&A, but at least we have dates and names and understanding.
I enjoyed knowing the names of the people and the countries that they represented.
Right.
Like, that helped me a little bit. It was still a lot because their names happened to be the same a lot of the time.
Right.
Which you might as well have just said North and South and North and South, Antiochus and Seleucus, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.